Hello everyone. In this video, let us discuss about the floating point number representation. Numbers that have decimal places are called floating point numbers or real numbers, whereas the numbers that do not have decimal places are called integers. For example, 4.53 is a floating point number, whereas minus 23 or 9000 are integers. Okay. As the name implies, the floating point numbers are numbers that contain floating radix points. That is, it can be placed anywhere related to the significant digits of the number. So the radix point can be placed anywhere related to the significant digits of the number. And that makes the representation of a floating point number as not unique. For example, the number 55.66 can be represented as either 5.566 into 10 power 1 or as 0.5566 into 10 power 2 or as 0.05566 into 10 power 3 and so on. So from this example, we can see that the floating point number representation is not unique. So this floating point can be placed anywhere related to the significant digits of the number. Okay, any floating point binary number can be represented as minus 1 raised to s into m into 2 power e, where this s is the sign bit, m represents the Mandisa part and e is the exponent. Fine. This s is the sign bit. S determines whether the number is negative or positive. If s is equal to 1, minus 1 raised to 1, we'll be getting it as a minus value, right? So it represents the number as negative. And if it is s is equal to 0, minus 1 raised to 0, we'll be getting it as 1. So it represents a positive number. So this s determines whether the number is negative or positive. Fine. Then comes the Mandisa part, also called as the significant part. So it represents the magnitude of the number. It represents the value of the number. And this 2 power e, this e represents the number of places that the binary point is to be moved. Okay. E represents the number of places that the binary point is to be moved. That is the E weights value by the power of radix. Okay, here it is a binary number, so the radix value is 2. So the E weights the value by the power of 2. Okay, so a floating point number can be represented using three parts: the sign part, the exponent part, and the Mandisa part. Mandisa part can also be called as the fraction part or the significant part. Okay, so the sign part, the exponent part, and the Mandisa part. So as we just said, any floating point number can be represented using three parts: the sign part, the Mandisa part, and the exponent part. Okay, in the case of decimal system, the exponent part can be represented as an exponent of base 10. Whereas in the case of binary numbers, the number can be represented as an exponent of 2. Right? So the number 4.2 into 10 power 8. This 4.2 represents the Mandisa of the decimal number, and this 8 represents the exponent part. And similarly, in this example, 111.01 into 2 power 1. This 111.01 is the Mandisa part, and this 1 is the exponent of this given number. Okay, so in this case, we are going to store only the Mandisa part and the exponent part. Okay, the base value is not getting stored, only the Mandisa and the exponent are stored. Okay. When we look into a fractional binary number or a binary floating point number, the radix point is the binary point, right? Okay, so the bits to the left of this binary point represents the multiplied powers of 2. So this B0 represents 2 power 0 position, B1 2 power 1, B2 that is 2 power 2, right? So the bits to the left of this binary point represents the multiplied powers of 2. And whereas the bits to the right of this binary point represents the fractional powers of 2. B minus 1 represents actually the bit into 1 by 2. B minus 2 represents the bit into 1 by 4. Likewise, right? So the bits to the left of this binary point represents the multiplied powers of 2, whereas the bits to the right of the binary point represents the fractional powers of 2. Okay. When we look into an example 101.11, so we can see that 4 plus 1. So this 101 actually represents the number 5. Then 1 represents 1 by 2 plus 1 by 4, which is equal to 3 by 4. Okay, similarly, the number 10.111. So this is the 2 power 0 position. This is the 2 power 1 position. Corresponding number is 2, right? So 2 point this 111. 1 by 2 plus 1 by 4 plus 1 by 8, which is equal to 7 by 8. Okay, so any binary number can be represented like this. So bits to the left of this binary point represents the multiplied powers of 2, whereas the bits to the right of the binary point represents the fractional powers of 2. Okay. Before moving on to the discussion about the IEEE floating point representations, first let us discuss about the term precision, double precision, triple precision, etc. As you know, for any computer, the word length is fixed. A 32-bit register can store 2 raised to 32 different values in each register. Fine. And if numbers greater than this need to be expressed, 2 storage locations or 2 registers are required. That is, each such number has to be stored in 2 storage locations, 2 registers. And this is called double precision. Okay, leaving the sign bit or the MSB bit, this allows a 63-bit number length with two 32-bit registers. Okay, so 32-bit registers are used, so we'll be getting 64-bit. Out of this 64-bit, 1 bit, that is the MSB bit, is reserved for the sign bit, and the remaining 63-bit can be used for storing the numbers. If still large numbers need to be expressed, 3 registers are taken to store such number, and it is called as triple precision. Okay, so in short, if you are taking 2 registers for storing a single number, it is called double precision, and if you are taking 3 registers to store a number, it is called triple precision. Fine. Any binary floating point number can be represented using ANSI or IEEE standard, and it can be in 3 different representation. If you are using a 32-bit representation, it is called as single precision format. Okay, so a total of 32 bits is used for representing the number, then it is called as a single precision representation. Out of this 32-bit, 8 bits are used for representing the exponent part, and the remaining 23 bits are used for representing the fractional parts. Okay, and if you're taking 64 bits for representing a floating point number, then it is a double precision format. Out of this 64, 11 bits are used for representing the exponent part, and the 52 bits are used for representing the fractional parts. Okay. In the case of extended precision format, it takes 80 bits for storing the floating point number. Out of this 80 bit, 15 is meant for the exponent part and 63 is for representing the mantissa part. Okay, so 15 plus 63 plus the sign bit. Okay, so we'll be getting only 79 bits. Out of this 80 bits, 1 bit is wasted here, and it is found only in Intel compatible machines. Okay, so according to the ANSI IEEE standard, any floating point number can be represented in either of these 3 formats. It can be either in single precision format, or a double precision format, or an extended precision format. In the case of single precision format, it takes 32 bits for representing the number. A total of 64 bits is taken for the double precision representation, and an 80 bits is taken for representing in the extended precision format. Okay, so anyway, all the binary floating point numbers can be represented using the sign bit, the exponent part and the Mandisa part. Okay. Floating point numbers need to be represented as a normalized number. In the case of a normalized number, the Mandisa is coded with an implied leading one. So the binary point will be placed immediately after this leading bit, leading one bit. Okay, so the Mandisa can be represented as 1.xxx bits of Mandisa. Right? So a binary point is placed immediately after a non-zero digit. This leading bit is always 1. In the case of a normalized floating point number, the leading bit should always be 1. That is, the binary point should be placed immediately after the first non-zero digit. Fine. And the exponent is represented as a biased value. The exponent is represented as a biased value. Biased value means we need to add a biased value to the actual exponent. Okay, so the original exponent is equal to exponent, the given exponent minus bias. Okay, so in the case of single precision, the bias value is 127, and in the case of double precision, the bias value is 1023. Okay, so in general, the bias value can be found as 2 raised to e minus 1 minus 1, where this e is the number of exponent bits. Okay, in the case of single precision, we know that 8 bits are taken for representing the exponent part, right? 8 bits are taken for representing the exponent part. So E is equal to 8. In the case of single precision, E is equal to 8. So 8 minus 1, that is 7. 2 power 7, that is 128. 128 minus 1, that is 127. So the bias value is 127 in the case of single precision. So the exponent can range from 1 to 254, that is minus 126 to plus 127. Similarly, in the case of double precision, it takes 11 bits for representing the exponent. So e minus 1, that is 10. So 2 power 10, that is 1024. 1024 minus 1, that is 1023. Okay, so 1023 is the biased value in the case of double precision. And so it can represent the values in the range minus 1022 to 1023. Right? So this bias can be calculated as 2 power e minus 1 minus 1. Okay, so in the case of this normalized floating point number, the exponent is coded as a biased value. So the actual exponent can be found as the given exponent minus bias value. Okay. Now let's look into this IEEE 754 32-bit single precision floating point numbers in detail. As we said, in the case of single precision floating point numbers, a total of 32 bits will be there. Out of that, the first bit, the MSB bit, is reserved as the sign bit. 0 represents the positive number and 1 represents the negative number. The following 8 bits represent the exponent part. Okay, the bits following the sign bit represents the exponent part. Okay, 8 bits are reserved for the exponent part, and the remaining 23 bits represents the fraction part, also called as the Mandisa part. Okay, so a total of 32 bits are there. Out of that, 1 bit is for the sign. The next 8 bits are used for representing the exponent part, and the remaining 23 bits are used for representing the Mandisa part. Fine. So in a single precision format, out of this 32 bit, the first bit is used for representing the sign bit. The next 8 bits are used for representing the exponent part, and the remaining 23 bits are used for representing the Mandisa part. Fine. In this Mandisa part, the binary point is understood to be the left of the 23 bits. Okay, so though we are having only 23 bits, effectively there are 24 bits in the Mandisa, because as we know, in any binary floating point number, there is a leading 1 bit, right? Before this binary point, we are always having a leading 1 bit, right? So the Mandisa can be represented as 1.xx. So this 1 is understood to be there, although it does not occupy an actual bit position. We are not going to store it explicitly because we know that for every binary floating point number, there is a leading bit 1. Okay, so we are taking only 23 bits for representing the Mandisa part, but actually there are 24 bits in the Mandisa. Fine. The 8 bits in the exponent actually represents a biased exponent, which is obtained by adding 127 to the actual exponent. Okay, so it is also called as excess 127 notation because to the actual exponent we are adding a 127. And so it allows a range of actual exponent values from minus 126 to plus 127. Okay, so its purpose is to allow very large or small numbers without requiring a separate sign bit for the exponent. So we are not going to represent as 2 power minus 3 like that. So the sign bit for the exponent is avoided since we are using this excess 127 notation. Okay, so the excess 127 notation purpose is to allow very large or small numbers without requiring a separate sign bit for the representing the exponent part. Okay. Okay, now let's look into some exercises. Here we are given with a binary number. How to represent this binary number in single precision format. Okay, so in the single precision format, first we need to put this number as a normalized binary floating point number. For that, we need to move this binary point 12 places to the left. That means we need to put the binary point immediately after the first non-zero digit. Okay, so here the number is 101, 101, 001, 0001. Okay, fine. So we are going to put the binary point immediately after the first non-zero digit. Okay, so we are going to make it as 1.01, right? So we need to move the binary point 12 places. So now the number becomes 1.011010010001 into 2 power 12. Okay, now when we look into this Mandisa part, we can see that it is in the normalized form. Fine, but this exponent, we need to convert this exponent as a biased exponent. So we need to add 127 to this actual exponent. The actual exponent here is 12. So we need to add 127 to this 12. We will be getting 139 and its corresponding binary number is 100010111. So the biased exponent is 100011011, right? So this is the Mandisa part and this is the biased exponent part. Now it is in the single precision format. Fine. Another example, we are representing the number 3.14 in single precision format. So here the number is in the decimal format. So first we need to convert this 3.14 into binary value. Okay, so this number is a positive number and so the sign bit is 0. Fine, so the first bit is 0. Okay, then we need to represent this 3.14 into its binary format. The corresponding binary value of this 3 is 0011 and this 0.14 can be represented as 0.14 into 2 will be getting 0.28. The 0 is taken out. This process is continued and we'll be getting the corresponding binary equivalent as 001, 000, 111, etc. So now the Mandisa becomes 0011.001, 000, etc. Okay. Now when we look into this Mandisa, we can see that it is not in the normalized form. So in the case of a normalized floating point number, the binary point should be placed immediately after the first non-zero digit. So we need to move the binary places one place to the left to make it as a normalized number. So now it becomes 100, 100, 01, 11, etc. into 2 power 1 because we are moving one place to the left to make this Mandisa as a normalized one. Fine. Now we need to represent this Mandisa in 23 bits. So it becomes 1001, 000, 111, etc. Okay. Now we got the Mandisa part, we got the sign part. Okay, now we need to find out the exponent part. So we got the exponent, actual exponent as 1. Okay, so we need to add the bias value to this one. So in this in single precision format, the bias is 27. So we are going to add 127 to the actual exponent 1. So we will be getting 128 and take its corresponding binary equivalent. We'll be getting it as 10000000. Okay, so now this 3.14 can be represented as, this is the sign bit is 0. Then this part is the exponent part. The exponent part is 10000000, then followed by the 23 bits of this Mandisa part, also called as the significant part. So this 3.14 can be represented in this 32-bit representation. Okay. Let us look into another example. We need to represent the number minus 15,213 in single precision format. Okay, here the number is negative and so the sign bit is 1. Then we need to find out the binary equivalent of the given number. Okay, we got the binary equivalent of the given number. Then we need to make it as a normalized floating point number. Okay, so we are going to put the binary point immediately after the first non-zero digit. Okay, so now the number becomes 1.11011011011101 into 2 power 13. Okay, now we got the Mandisa part in the normalized form. Now we need to represent this Mandisa part in 23 bits. Okay, so the remaining bits will be filled with zeros. Okay, so this 1 is avoided because for every Mandisa the leading bit is 1, so that one we are not going to store explicitly that number. The remaining part 1101, 101, 101, 101, and the remaining bits will be filled with zeros to make it as a 23 bit. Fine. Then the exponent part is 13. The actual exponent is 13. So we need to add 127 as to the 13. We'll be getting 140 and find out its corresponding binary number. We'll be getting it as 10001100. Now the 32-bit representation of the given number is 1, then the exponent part followed by the 23-bit Mandisa part. Okay. Example, here we are given with a binary number. We need to represent this binary number in 32-bit single precision format. Okay, so what is the first step? We need to normalize the given number. So to normalize the given number, we need to put the binary point immediately after the first non-zero digit. Okay, so by moving the bits accordingly, we need to put the binary point immediately after the first non-zero digit. So now the number becomes 1.011100100001 into 2 power 12. Okay, now we got the Mandisa, so make it as a 23-bit by putting or by filling the remaining bit positions with 0. Okay, now we got a 23-bit Mandisa part. Fine. Then we got the actual exponent as 12, so we need to add the bias 127 to it. 127 plus 12, we got it as 139, and its corresponding binary equivalent is 10001011. Okay, since it is a positive number, the sign bit is 0. So now the 32-bit representation is 0 followed by the exponent part followed by the Mandisa part. Okay. Let's look into another example. We are given with a decimal number 3.248 into 10 power 4. This 3.248 into 10 power 4 is actually 32,480. Okay, find out its binary equivalent. We'll be getting the binary number like this. Okay, then the next step is we need to normalize it by putting the binary point immediately after the first non-zero digit. Okay, we got it as 1.11111111000000 into 2 power 14. Okay, so now we got the fractional part. Make it as a 23-bit binary number by putting zeros to the remaining bit positions. Okay, the actual exponent is 14. Add 127 to it. We got it as 141. Take its binary equivalent. Okay, since it is a positive number, the sign bit is 0. So the 32-bit representation is sign bit followed by the exponent part, then the 23-bit Mandisa part. Fine. Let's look into another example. Here we are given with a floating point number. We need to determine its corresponding binary number. So we are having a 32-bit number. So the binary number can be given as minus 1 raised to s into 1 plus m into 2 power biased exponent. Okay, so here the sign bit is 1, so it is a negative number. Then the next 8-bit represents the biased exponent. So its corresponding decimal equivalent is 145. Since it is a biased exponent, to find out the actual exponent, we need to subtract 127 from this 145. So 145 minus 127, that is 18. So 18 is the actual exponent. Now we got the sign part and the exponent part. Fine. We need to find out the Mandisa part. The Mandisa part is actually in the 23-bit representation. So we are going to represent that as 0.10011100001 into 2 power 18. We got this exponent part, right? So we are going to represent, we are putting this binary point, we are removing the extra 0 bits, right? So we are stopping at the first non-zero digit, the last non-zero digit. So we are getting it as 0.10001110001 into 2 power 18. Okay, so all these zeros, extra 0 bits will be removed. Okay, so now we got the number as minus 1 into 1 plus m. This is the m, right? This is the Mandisa part. 1 plus m means we are going to have this 1 over here, because we know that since it is a normalized floating point number, the binary point is placed immediately after the first non-zero digit. That is, we are always having a leading 1 bit here. So we are going to have it as 1.100110001 into 2 power 18. So the number becomes 1 1 000111101, and the remaining bits will also be filled with 0 to make it as an 18-bit number. Then take its corresponding decimal equivalent. We'll be getting the corresponding decimal number as minus 4076W. Okay. We discussed about the representation of a floating point number in IEEE format. Thank you.